at obviously a waterfall and what we believe to be Gibson's cave. It's quite impressive. Here we go, Gibson's Cave and Summerhill Force. So we're in the right place at least. And it says there that Gibson was a 16th century outlaw who hid here while on the run from the constables of Barnard Castle. He was a lovable rogue. Friends supplied him with food and dry clothes while he hid behind the waterfall's silvery screen in his dark and secret hideaway. And over there is the modern day Gibson, Mr. Bertie Kirkwood. And here's our very own little Gibson himself, Bertie K. Whoa! That is the Niagara! Whoa! Now that, we believe, is Holwick Scar, and Holwick, which is our village for the pub at lunchtime, is the village at the bottom of that scar. Don't quite know which building it is, the pub, but we'll soon find out. We're now descending into the village of New Biggin. We're now standing at a Wesleyan chapel where John Wesley himself preached. Mind you, who didn't? Where didn't he preach in those days? And its claim to fame, as it says there, is that it is the oldest Methodist chapel in continuous use. Putting that about for a fact.
Wow.
He's impressed, I can tell. And we're now going to head off down there, just to the right of the two monkey puzzle trees. It's not that problematic. You great dunce. I think he's making more of this than perhaps is necessary. Going over about as slowly as his father. We're actually walking on what's called the Richard Watson Trail. Richard Watson was a lead miner, more about him later on, who was also something of a poet. He wrote about the River Tees, which we were just about to cross, in these terms. Like a huge serpent down the dale is seen, the Tees all glistening like silver sheen. Oft curving round some hill, 'tis hidden quite, anon appearing in the broad sunlight. And such is life, our bright visions fade. Sometimes 'tis bright, anon we're in the shade. At times we smoothly glide, at others grope our gloomy way, with nothing left but hope. So here we are at the River Tees, which Richard had described as so eloquently. It's amazing to think the river like this eventually goes to Middlesbrough and out to the North Sea. As he emerges from the pub, belly full with bangers and mash. Really nice pub. It's amazing that a place as remote and sort of basic as this continues to, well, presumably thrive in this day and age. Let's get a quick word on the food from our young taster. How did you rate the sausages?
Yeah, they're decent sausages. Nice succulence and moisture.
Bertie K giving it a bit of extra exclusive footage. He gets all the best angles, that guy. Look at him. He takes a good selfie as well. Brilliant. And that's the view he's looking at. So this is where Richard Watson, the lead mining bard, lived. and his journey to his lead mine was about 7 miles away, part of which we've done, and we're now going off onto a new track which will culminate in 2 waterfalls in about, I don't know, a couple of hours' time. And over there is a shooting lodge which was built on the Earl of Strathmore estate by the Governor of the Bank of England in about the 1880s. Glad to have seen that one. Now this is a really interesting style. I get, you know, unreasonably excited by styles at on some occasions, but look at this. You've got a pair of, well, rams, I suppose. There he is, little boy mounting a ram. With how would you describe that thing in front of you, Bert?
Well, they're eating from it, so it might be like hay or something, and there's a goose on top.
Well, there's a goose, he says, on the top. Can't quite see that.
You can see a head there.
Oh yeah, he's right. There's a little duck or something. This is truly fascinating. Really enjoying this style.
Yep.
Easy, that's no dawdle. Quite relieved to get over that, actually. I mentioned earlier that this is grouse shooting country, and here is a particularly well structured grouse butt with its own little entrance. Almost looks like an old temple or something. And there's one of the local shooters. He's getting his gun in position and ready to fire with a big bang.
Made it.
So what you've just seen there is the quarry that I was talking about earlier. Quite a contrast to that nice waterfall. We're now high above the River Tees, which at this point is so broad and shallow with the river rushing across the rocks. It's really nice up here now, always feels spring-like. I'll just show you the other part of the river with this contemplative hiker. So that's where we're heading, to the right side of that river bank. You can perhaps see in the distance a quarry, or at least some quarry workings, which is something of a blot on the landscape, which they certainly wouldn't allow these days, but obviously they did in the olden days. And now we're approaching, at 21 metres, the highest waterfall in England, called High Force. You can view the waterfall from the other side of the river, but you have to pay for access, whereas if you come on this side, then you get it for free, and in my view, it's just as good as the one you pay for. I think this little man is bound to agree. High Force, ladies and gentlemen. There's what they call a tree killer on the loose, which is killing juniper trees in the area. So all you have to do is to scrub your boots before, he's going for the double scrub technique, before proceeding in the direction that we're going. And he's giving a fine demonstration of the technique, and he's now, I think, all good to go. And now for some commentary from somebody else.
Please turn me till the message plays.
About a kilometre upstream from here is the spectacular high force waterfall. The river tees cascades over the Windsor outcrop and plunges over 21 metres to the river below. Please take great care whilst viewing the waterfall, especially if you have young children with you.
Past Low Force, which is the lesser of the two falls, and we're now back to the story of Richard Watson, our bard and lead miner, and we're walking across the Winch Bridge, which is a bridge which was built to carry the miners like Richard to their place of work. He wrote, "So o'er the creaking chain bridge take my way." About 1,000 lead miners worked in the area back in the 1860s, and they tended to spend about a week away from home at a time, lodging in a barn while they did their lead mining. And what's more, they only got paid for the amount of lead ore they managed to extract from the rock. That's a row of what I think must have been old lead miners' cottages, now all with their satellite dishes. And up here is their old chapel, now a visitor centre that's also a cafe, and a cafe that at 5 to 5 on March the 12th is closed, which is so disappointing. But still, had it been open, it was more a bonus than anything else. So you'll just have to make do with chocolate bars in the car, although that probably won't cheer this little grumpy fellow up.